Well, hello everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, let's see, what do we got here? Let me move this. Got one person in here, maybe two. Live chat. Who we got in here? Rob, how you doing, man? Sizzle, how you doing? Number one, number two. That's awesome. Let's see. Doing great. Kiddo turn two. Awesome. Terrible twos. Eh, It's been a little bit since I've experienced that. Well, I do have grandkids, and it doesn't, it, just because they're grandkids, they still experience it, or we still experience it from them. Uh, that's okay. It's all part of life and growing up. Uh, yep, they're so independent at two and want what they can't have. Yeah, I tell you, let me get some things set up here first. But one of the things that I think, how you doing, Lisa? One of the things I think I learned, and it's still not easy to do, um, but when they're getting into stuff, they're not trying to be disobedient. They're trying to learn. They're inquisitive. They want to learn. That doesn't mean that we don't, you know, try to instill discipline. But when we realize that they're just trying to learn, and some of them are more hard headed than others, then we can adjust the way that we approach helping them learn. Um, now, I am not a I am not a spare the rod person, but I also don't want to use it for every situation because every situation doesn't call for it. Um, so there's that. Bottom line, if we understand that the whole deal when they're young and they're, you know, early on, they're just trying to learn. They want to experience what the milk does, so they don't just want to taste it. They want to see what does this do when I dump it over. They're really curious about it. It's not just, you know, them being little jerks, even though that's what it feels like sometimes. Um, but yeah, I wish I would have had a little more understanding as a 20-something-year-old parent, you know, but I didn't. My first one was so hard headed. And still to this day, he will argue with the stop sign. You know, it's one of those deals. My boys are big boys, but if I would have told him to eat that instead of don't eat that, he would have argued with me about it. So it is what it is. Uh, so I hope everybody's having a great week. To this week is just like every other week so far. It's been busy, but I have been managing to get some stuff done on the YouTubes. I've put put a short up every day, and I've got some shorts lined up through the 12th, I think, and hopefully this week I'll be able to push it out through the 30th. Um, I'm starting to track how the YouTube channel's doing, and I'm going to see what I'm doing. But also, as you see, I put up a video on Friday, and I'm going to start working on the next one. I hope you liked what I did. I've tried some little things. I used 2 cameras on that. I actually used 3 cameras on it. I used one front angle, one side angle, and then I used my phone to take video close up. I hope you like that, because that was about a 5 or 6 hour um, editing deal, or maybe more. So, yeah, I appreciate it, Rob. So I'm going to try to I'm going to work on my timing and everything. One thing that's big, and I understand it, and I don't know how to correct it, is I speak slower than some people. So the pace of my videos is slower than what maybe some people want. And I might try to speed it up artificially. It's just, I don't want to mess it up. We'll see. Yeah, as far as being in the shop, yeah, it is better in the shop. Um, I like doing it better in the shop. I've looked at some of the videos that I did in here, and I don't like it. I wanted to do this so it would be a little easier, but it's just not the same. This is more climate controlled and everything, but so I'll have to depend on doing it in here until I get everything right in the garage. The big thing is when a storm comes through and I'm out there trying to edit, it's kind of hard to do that. But let's see. Trying to warm my bottle up. It's very cold. Starlight Distillery, Old Rick House, Huber's Double Oaked Rye Whiskey. It's a Kroger special pick. I've had it before. It started off not the greatest, but as I've drank a little bit out of it, it's gotten a little better. It's a real young whiskey. It's only 4 years old, so that's a big part of it. But then it was put into Hungarian oak, it says. So we'll see. Last week I talked about these Work Pro pliers. I said I ordered them and I got them in, and they're not bad priced, and they don't seem like a bad product. Now, this is not something that you want for normal everyday use. This is a everyday carry type deal. Let me get something. Just so for size comparison, these are my Craftsman version of my Knipex. So I think this is the 7-inch. I'm trying to get it up here. 7-inch, and I think these are 10-inch. And here is like a 5-inch. So let's see if I can. There you go. That's some comparison. And here's these. Let me just do the 5-inch in these. So they're like 4-inch or so. I'm going to do an actual comparison video of them, but figured I'd give it to y'all first here. They're not too bad. A few of the things I like about them is, one, they're thin. I don't know if you can see that. I'll give you a better video of it later. but they're thin, which is decent. It comes in handy if they're thinner, and it's like all the way down, so there's not a bunch sticking out. These have a little bit sticking out. Now, I'm not saying that these Work Pro are better, not at all. I honestly don't know how good of a quality they are. They feel pretty decent. It feels like I'm not sure what process they use to make it, because I would say forged and then left and with very, very little machining, maybe a little bit of machining here and there, or some. It's almost as if these were cast instead of forged. Um, and that could be it, because they've got these dimples in it. They've got casting marks in it almost. See these dimples? But there's no flash that's associated with it. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. Now I've got those needle nose plier snap-on clones coming. So they're supposed to be here tomorrow, I think. So I'll be able to show them to you. And I've got a little short working on these. Just I'll do a quick little deal on it. It'll come out hopefully right after I do the regular video or before, I don't know. See, in case anyone is looking for inexpensive screwdrivers, Tecton Outlet, they're selling off their old hard handle and torque lines. I didn't know that. I know they'd come out. I know they'd come out. I knew they had come out with, I think that's the way I was supposed to say that. I knew they had come out with the newest, and it makes sense they're getting rid of their oldest. I'm wondering how that really affects sales of their new product. I know there's people that want to try them. I might order some. I got to get everything going, because I've got I might have 30 different tools still left, new tools still left to do reviews on that I bought, and then I kind of, I haven't been able to do it. I've got tools from last December that I haven't reviewed. December, January. I mean, I've got a ton of stuff I haven't done. So in all reality, I shouldn't really be buying anything else. But those old tools, the videos are going to be okay. I say okay. None of my videos have done great here lately. They need to be doing 1,000 views, and they're doing 100 or less than 100 views. The only video I've had here recently that did well was the how much I spent on Sturgis, and it did like 1,000 or 2,000 views. How you doing, Pete? Let me put this down here some more. Let it warm up some more. I don't know if I showed the bottle here, so here's what I'm drinking tonight. Hope everything's going well with you, Pete. And if I didn't ask anybody else how they were doing, I hope you're doing well. And let me know. Trying to build this back up. I have some tools that I want to give away. I'm not ready quite yet. Let's see. I want to probably here in a few weeks, maybe a month, I'll start advertising it. And I'm gonna do it once a month here on the live. But I've got this OTC, OBD2, and ABS. Going to give it away. And I've got this. No, this is wrong thing. Got this compression tester from Actron that I want to give away. What do y'all think about those two things? Decent? So what it is, I ordered the surprise package from Jersey Tools, whatever it is, and ordered two of them, and they both come exactly the same. So, I mean, heck, as far as that goes, I got two of these. I don't know. I kind of like this. I might keep it. But not that I don't like those others. But yeah, Actron Tools, I've got a multimeter, and I bought it, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, and it still works great. I popped the fuse in it, and I thought it was done for, and I let it sit forever. Ended up buying me a Fluke, but then I'm like, you know what? Let me check, and I opened it up. The fuse was blown. Put me a new fuse in it. Works great, and it doesn't just do like AC and DC voltage. It also does RPMs and something else. I forget what else. It's a nice, I mean, it's worked great for me. So have the same compression tester bought off the tool truck. Haven't used it yet. Yeah, compression testers are super handy when you need them, but you hope you don't need them. But they're great at they're great at picking up, helping you pick out stuff that's wrong. I have a couple, plus I have an OTC leak down tester. So I've got a few different things when it comes to that. In all reality, I could give both of them that I got away because I've got others. So, and I've also got a bunch of different ends, so I can adapt it to different things. Cheers, everybody. I think I got it warmed up enough. Actron Tack Dwell Meter. That's pretty nice. I wonder if mine has dwell on it. I think it does, but I'm not 100% sure. Dwell, honestly, I never learned how to set it. I know, it's your points. Use it to set dwell. And if you don't know, dwell is how long it stays in that on position. I believe it's the on position. Just like you have dwell time when your piston comes up. So there's a point when your piston comes up that it doesn't move again, and then it goes back down. It's it's milliseconds or whatever, according to how many RPMs you're turning. But there's a point when it goes up, you're still turning your engine, and it sits there, and then it goes down. It's all about just the tolerances in the engine and everything. And the dwell is going to be different with a lot of factors. But there's also bottom dwell as well. You can figure out your bottom dead center as well as your top dead center when you're setting up an engine. See, don't worry about me. I won't participate in giveaways anymore. You have given me enough, brother. I'm good. Y'all are here all the time, and I appreciate it. Um, so I wouldn't want anyone not to be a part of it, especially when y'all come in here and support me all the time. Um, Let's see, I have like 5 compression testers. Compression testers are great when it's a customer's pay job. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I run the compression on my Fairlane motor, and it's not really where I thought it should be, but I wasn't able to test it hot. And the numbers were somewhere around 160, and they were all around 20 psi each. But your difference, one of them was a little different though, a little more different than that. The the Mustang motor before I pulled it completely off was a different story though. See, I have like 5 compressor tests. Great. Got some bourbon coming for delivery. My buddy was up at my favorite distillery. I'll cheers with you next weekend. Just a frosty beer here tonight. Well, that's good enough. Uh, I haven't sat dwell since my dad was showing me how to do it when I was a child. Yeah, I think I've sit with my dad with it a little bit, but yeah. And there's these big machines. There's Sunin. Is it Sunin? Something like that. Nice big machine. Snap-on had them. All of them had the machines to hook it up to and set it. I do have a dwell meter. Yeah, like I said, I think that Actron does it, but I'm not sure. Have a Matco master compression tester. Only used 3 of the adapters in the set so far. Comes in handy when I need it. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's that's pretty neat. I know a lot of people do it. I'm talking about leasers use dwell meter to set fuel mixture on Bosch injected engines. A lot of it gets set by computer now, and I guess a lot of times the computer tells you everything. I'm not really sure because I I barely used computers for anything. I had my brother Snap-on, and I can't tell you what his is. Um, I'm sure. I think he let the subscription lapse, so I don't know what you can do with it right now. But I've used it to figure out which coil was bad or going bad, and figured out some other things with my son's car. I wouldn't mind having a decent computer. I know we've talked about that before, but I haven't pulled the trigger. I don't need it. It's just a would like to have so I could work on my own stuff here. Off topic Project Farm did a video on gas stabilizers released earlier, worth watching. Cool. I seen it. I didn't watch the video, but I seen the thumbnail on it. I usually watch them. Uh, I'll I'll put it on to play when I'm going to school. It's fall break this week, and it's not really a break for me because even though I don't, so it's a little bit of a break because I don't have to drive to school on Monday, but I still have to go to school on Wednesday, and pretty much it's Monday and Tuesday off. But it's the same amount of work for the school. So I'm not sure I really got any time off there. See, Matco. Cheers. Let's see. Off top. Okay. I'm having a Bush Light. Cheers. Had a Matco compression tester. Worked great. Most of my diagnostic tools were Matco. That's cool. Pete, that shock was a bit worse for wear. I guess there's a video there I missed. Rob, yeah, they were original with 115,000 miles. Woo! Got a little indigestion. My food didn't sit well with me tonight, but that's kind of a normal thing. I don't know if I told y'all, I think it was last week before last, went to the doc. They fed me radiated eggs and they x-rayed me and they kept me there and they x-rayed me once every hour to see how fast my stomach emptied. And in 6 hours, the eggs were still there. That was the last, they had to do at least six. So there's something up there, something wrong. So they've got me scheduled for another appointment week after next, I think it is. And I'll go in there and we'll talk on next steps. We'll figure out what's going on with my stomach. In the meantime, I'll continue plying it with liquor. Bush Light, might as well drink water. Pete says he's a lightweight. I've seen those people though that they say they're lightweight, but they've got an empty case after a few hours in the shop or whatever. Friend of mine used to drink Bush Light like it was going out of style. Yelled at me for buying a $9 bottle of beer. Those $9 bottle of beers will have you feeling toasty after about two, maybe three. I think I was might have been a B-Dubs, and I drank some purple something. It wasn't Purple Haze. Maybe it was, but it was a 12% IPA. And I got a tall one. And it had me feeling right after that one tall beer. Now, I don't drink a ton, so that could have been it. But I might have blew over the legal limit after that one beer. I didn't drive. My buddy drove. We were at a school for the military. We went down to Camp Shelby, Mississippi to learn how to be an observer controller. In other words, you go out and you watch a military unit do their training, then you bring them back in and you tell them what they did right and what they did wrong. Let's how we fix this. Da 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 da. That was my job for my last year and a half in the Army. Worked with units in Puerto Rico, in Arkansas, did a little deal up in New Jersey, and went out to NTC and actually observed the Puerto Rican unit while they were going through the National Training Center out of Fort Irwin, California. It was a decent job. The bad thing about it is, so this was from July of 16 till December of 17. So it was right after my wife had passed, and it was just me and my younger son, and I was gone a lot. And he had just lost his mom, and it wouldn't have been good for me to be gone like that. But then I quit, I got out of the Army. I retired from the Army and took a job working night shift, and I was gone all the time. So I really didn't help him out any at all. I was a bad daddy. In all reality, what I should have done is when I retired, is not went back to work and just, you know, stayed at home and made sure he had me, those last super important years of his home life or school, but I didn't. Yeah. Let's see. I had to add the penny system for my keys are in the garage. I'm lost. The penny system. So pay money to get beer, like put money in the pot if you're going to get a beer out of the fridge, or I don't know. Just been drinking it for 30 years. Yeah. When you just pour from the tap, you don't keep track. I understand that completely. Have to have beer with 8% alcohol by volume. Do you have to, or is that your preferred? You would prefer not to drink anything less than that. These are two of those, and I wouldn't have to go to bed. That's the whole idea. Sleep good then. Too many of them, you sleep way too good. Uh, Anyone see the parking lot sell at Harbor Freight? Not sure if anything looks like a crazy deal. Man, I missed my free bucket. I wonder if it's still good for tomorrow. Dang it. Uh, every time you pour a drink, you put a penny in the pile so you have an idea. Oh, okay. I understand. Uh, my friend hid empty Busch Light cans, so I wouldn't know how much he's drinking. I don't have to worry about that. I don't drink so much. But then again, even though my wife knows about it, there is a tough box out in the garage full of unopened um, bourbon bottles. Full. There's over 50 in there. But I'm not hiding them. It's just, I got 30 in the house, and it's a lot in here. Most of the ones in the house are open though. Let's see. I'm an old dad. When I retired, I thought I'd be around my son more often, but he'd rather play video games with friends online, I think. Uh, yes, my son would have too. So, but I would have still been here instead of him being at home all by himself at night as a teenager. Yeah. Now, he wasn't home all night by himself for very long. As I met my wife, but then she was my girlfriend, and she was living with us not a long, long time after I retired. I think it was 4 months, 3 months, 4 months, something like that. So she was here, but my it would have been good if I'd have been here for my son if he needed me, you know. So, if you could go back and change things, and I could have did it. I didn't know for sure at the time if I could have done that and just stayed home because I was when I retired from the army, I was scared to death. I'm gonna tell you, I was scared to death that one, I wasn't gonna get a job that paid a decent amount. Two, I was afraid of, and to piggyback on that not getting a job, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to pay my bills. And it was close. I had it figured out. I think I had to cover what I expected between what I expected my pay to be and my disability to be, I had enough to cover the difference between that and my bills for 6 months. Um, so I had it figured out, but I was still scared to death. Just the unknown, right? I didn't know how everything was going to turn out. So as it was, what I had figured was less than what I actually ended up with. And yeah, I would have been okay to have not went to work. Um, Now I went to work and I paid some bills off, and I ended up getting it to where I could live off of just a portion of what I might bring home. And I did that in 3 years, and then I got fed up and quit. So yeah, there's that. And yes, I am a hoarder more than just tools. I mean, more than just bourbon, mainly tools. I'm a big hoarder of tools, but that's I think there's a few of us here on here that hoard tools. Pete, did you get your pliers in? I seen you ordered them. Have you got them in? Because mine hasn't come in. Mine have not come in yet. Um, they're supposed to be here in the morning. I've got a stupid pair of not pair. I ordered shop towels a week and a half ago, and they still haven't come in. Let's see, what did we order? Let me see if I can find it. Work Pro needle nose pliers. Ordered these right here. Ordered these. Hopefully you can see them. Let me scroll it up a little bit. Yeah. So mine are supposed to be here tomorrow, but for $14, I don't know yet. Okay. I haven't got them, so I don't know what they're going to look like, how nice they're going to be, how durable they're going to be. But for the non-pro, they should be decent. The things I'm going to look at, the biggest thing I'm going to look at is how the tips line up. And I think they're not as adept at picking up real thin objects like the good ones are. And that's the review I'd seen. So I'm going to look at it. And that's going to do with how well the tips line up and how, squared off they are. So I'll look at that and I'll see, and maybe I can do a little bit of grinding on it and make them act right. If you want, let's see. Here's your link. If you do decide to buy, I'll make a small amount off of it, 4%. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Let's see. Let's see. And here is the link for those mini pliers. The little bitty Work Pro mini pliers. And I'm going to tell you, just before I've done any actual testing on it, I've played around with them. These are worth buying. The jaws don't line up perfectly all the time. They will, but there is a little bit of slop. You can't see it here. I don't think. I can't see it. But they're nice and thin. I really like these. No, I'll have to check it out, Pete. I guess I don't get messages from that. Let me check my phone out right now because I can't see the community page. From the computer. Okay. Well, okay, I see the gear wrench one. And I like I said, I think I have that set. And yeah. I'm gonna have to dig more into the community deal because it's not what I thought it was. I thought it was like a forum, but yeah. If it would do anything, I've got an actual web page, but I haven't done much with it, but I would put stuff on there. Let's see. Did you see them? I can't put links in your chat session. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can mess with the settings on that or not. Yeah, I think I did check out one of the links though. It's the gear wrenches. I think the wife just texted me. Let's see. She's not feeling well. Oh man. Let's see. What else? We got 7 people in here. I remember when the Icon knockoffs were $24.99 when they came out, so popular. They raced 20. Now the magnetic mat was 1990. Right? You know, I've missed out on the magnetic mat, but Jersey Tool Co. has a magnetic mat, and it's not a bad price. You should check it out if you're thinking about one. I think there's more magnets in it. Jersey Discount Tool. Let's see. Magnetic mat. Maybe it's the Easy Red. I don't know. I thought they had their own. The Sunex, they got the Sunex on there, but I don't see theirs. JD, there it is. I will give you a link to it. It's $29.95 for an 8x12. Here you go. I'm not a big fan of their site, and it's just me because when I contacted them about, hey, it'd be nice if when you pack these boxes, if you didn't pack, like have packages of the same exact things in the boxes. In other words, if you're going to put 10 different tools in boxes, don't put the first 3 together in every box, and then the next 3 together in every box, and then the next whatever. And I contacted them about that, and they said, well, then it wouldn't be random. But you didn't make it random enough. You could have mixed it up a little bit. And the last 2 times I've contacted them, their responses have been short. If that's the case, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to talk bad about them. That's just been my experience. But they do have some pretty decent prices on some stuff. And it looks like they got some decent things. So I am thinking about ordering one of these tool mats, but I don't know. Let me actually show it to you on the screen now. There you go. So it's supposed to have more magnets in it, and you can see, look at all these. I don't know if you can see my pointer. Let me go over here. You can see the rows of magnets here, and it's supposed to have more magnets than the Sunex does. But I have not seen the magnetic mat at Harbor Freight yet. My Harbor Freight is horrible about having the newer tools in stock. So, yeah, I understand, Rob. It is. I know when I used to run a regular website, that was the big problem is spam. And it's huge on like your WordPress forum or your WordPress websites and stuff. You got to have spam blockers, and it fills up your moderator list and it's full. It's just it's frustrating. I think YouTube has a better handle on it. So, yeah. Yes. Okay. I bought a magnet set a couple of years ago on Amazon. 3-piece set, works great. Okay. Jersey. It's not yours. We're starting to see Gen 2 ratchets. It's not just yours. We are starting to see Gen 2 ratchets. The one thing I believe you can do is promote folks to admins, then they can share links. Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably pick some, and it'll have to be people that want to do it, but it'd be out of like y'all, people that have been here, care about the site or care about the deal and want to do things. And hopefully I can reach a point where I need to. And that's what I want to do. I really, really, really want my son to come start helping me and then start being a part of the channel and start working on it, because I want this to be something that I can pass down to him. We all want to pass things down to our kids. even though there's a liberal portion of the United States that are really hard on generational wealth, I think it's something every parent wants to do for their children. I don't have generational wealth. Okay, I got a very small amount from when my parents passed, but like very, 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 very small amount, you know. Um, but everyone wants to pass stuff down to the kids. And if I could build a YouTube channel that actually earns a little bit, that would be a great thing to pass down to him. Not only that, but if he kept it up and kept doing the right things, he could take it further and take it, you know, to do better things. But I got to get to that place first. Home Depot's cracking down on doing hacks, which is discouraging. That's what they were. That's what they were was okay. Yeah, I've thought about ordering that last Impact. Well, I want the Gen 2 M12 Impact, 3/8 Impact. I've got the 1/2 inch. But I'm wondering if the not compact, is it the smaller one is better? It's not more powerful, but I want it to be better for me to have in that situation, something smaller like that. My dad never misses the free buckets. I swear he's got 50. I know it's not nearly that, but it's kind of funny. Hey, I understand buckets come in handy. I mean, that's something generational wealth. My sons are going to inherit these one day. uh, that it's something, right? Let me give me a drink of coffee. Let me stop sharing this one deal. Okay, get back to this. Oh, by the way, I started to turn my light on, but I guess I left it on and it run it down. Here it is. I just set it on it sets in, clamped to my top of my monitor. There's where we charge it. I know that's awful close, right? That looks goofy. But yeah. Let's see. He's going to be cussing at you for the 1,000 free buckets he has to get rid of. No, what he will be cussing. I got to turn that light off. What he will be cussing me for is the thousands of screws and nuts and bolts and stuff. No, not even thousands, maybe tens of thousands. So I don't know if y'all have seen the video, but I got two large, they're not Vidmars, but they're the same thing, right? They're like industrial cabinets, sliding drawer cabinets, and they're divided, and they're just full of screws and just all kind of hardware. And that's not all I've got. Then I've got like 10 of those little clamshell dividers where they've got a bunch of spaces in it and you close the lid over the top of them. Yeah, there's a bunch. I have a bunch, but it is what it is. He'll either treasure it and be like, you know what, I'm glad Dad has these, it's less I have to buy, or he'll be like, damn, because it's not all separated. I've got some of it separated. and it's real nice. And then I've got some that's not. I've got coffee cans of stuff that's unseparated. Now, I would say 75% in the cabinets are at least separated in some type, but it's like random because I'm not going to put one in a space. So I've got like, a couple of hundred uh, different screw type deals and a couple of hundred different bolt, and then the nuts and then the washers and stuff like that. And then if I've got more than, three or four, I might put them in the thing all by themselves after I've actually went through them. I've got, if not talking about the onesies and twosies, I'm talking about the actual hardware that I've got where I've got, a decent amount of. I probably got a couple $1,000s worth. Um, just I would buy this set to do this, and I'd have a lot left over. Um, and I still find stuff that I'd need that I have to go to the hardware store for. But yeah, see, I'm fortunate for tools, hardware Dad passed down to me. Yeah, I've got a decent amount that Dad passed down to me. I've got a ton of hydraulic fittings. Now I don't know if I'll ever need them, but I've got them. I'm very tools be handed down through generations. Maybe the most coveted tools from ancestors, over 100 years old. That's awesome. I don't have anything from anyone past my dad, because Dad, his father passed away when he was a baby, 18 months old, right? So Dad grew up, you know, without anyone really to pass anything. They were poor hill country folk, just didn't have much at all. Um, so there was just nothing there. When Grandma passed, she left behind knickknacks and stuff. The family had to pitch in to bury her. But I think one of my uncles buried her because he was probably the only one that could afford it. Because even at that time, I think most everybody else in the family, there might have been one other that was doing about half as well as my uncle. My uncle made a lot of great decisions through his life, and he invested in property, owned restaurants, and just, he built wealth. He did very well, made great decisions. And most of the other kids tried in different deals. I had two other uncles that owned restaurants, but they never really did anything well with it. They had decent restaurants, but they didn't make the right decisions for them to do right. So, but one of my uncles did, and as part of that, so there was some land that was given to all the kids at some point early on. My dad had it when he was still young, when him and my mom first got married. And it was a few acres up on the mountain up there. It'll be south of the Tennessee River in Alabama, down around what they call Arab, really Morgan City. But there was a plot of land up there that got divided up, and they all got a little bit of it. It was like from 2 or 3 generations before that. And my uncle bought it from all of the kids. He ended up getting it from all the kids. So, yeah, my dad did get a little bit. He traded his for I love my dad. And he traded it for a real nice living room suit. And he tried to make it sound like it was a great deal, but it wasn't. Um, it just wasn't, you know. If you can buy land, don't get rid of it. And I've got rid of land I shouldn't have got rid of. But it's hard to manage stuff that you don't live close to. And I had property that I had bought and paid for down in Alabama, and I had property that I was, that was paying for itself, that was rented out down in Tennessee. And I sold them all within the last 10 years, sold them both within the last 10 years. So, the one house in Tennessee, we bought it when I was stationed at Fort Campbell. And then when we left there, we rented it out. And it was tough because if things didn't go right with the renter, we had to pay the payment. And yeah, we had some times when everything was tough. But yeah. And we had some times when we had people who didn't pay. So it sucked. But anyway, I guess that's. I think the video has run its course. So let's see. Let me read my last comments. And give my son this house would be the best thing I could do for him. People who just can't buy houses anymore. Yeah, I've got my youngest son. I think I've told y'all, but him and his girlfriend. They bought a house. And I pray everything goes great with it because he got him a nice little house. It's a 2-bedroom and it's a little older, 50s. And it's got a decent sized 2-car garage, detached 2-car garage. So it's awesome. I'm super happy they were able to do it. But thank y'all for coming in here tonight and sitting with me, boring y'all. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support that I get from y'all. Y'all are my base. Y'all are people who have supported me almost from the beginning, and I appreciate it. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great week, a blessed week, and y'all take care of each other. Y'all have a good night. See y'all next weekend. Oh, thank you. If you still hear it, Pete, thanks for that. She should be okay though. She just went to bed a little early.